Let's turn to the story that we've been breaking this evening. There's been a big setback for fugitive liquor baron Vijay Mallya in the 9,000 crore loan default case. The UK court this evening has ruled in favor of the consortium of Indian banks. In its orders, it has allowed the banks to search and take control of the assets belonging to Mallya in the United Kingdom. It has also allowed the enforcement officers to use reasonable force to enter Mallya's properties if necessary. Remember, the fugitive billionaire has been fighting extradition to India on fraud and money laundering charges. Let's go straight across to our correspondent Lavina Tandon. She joins me live at this moment from the United Kingdom, from London. Lavina, the kind of properties that Vijay Mallya has in the United Kingdom at the moment, give us a sense, give our viewers a sense of the kind of properties now that could be under threat.
See, Rajdeep, his main property is where he is living at this point in time, which is in Hertfordshire, Twin Village. And he also has another property behind Madame Tussauds. And apart from that, there are various other properties. But the point to be noted here is that one has to ascertain whether these properties are whose name is it on? Is he the direct beneficiary? All that needs to be absolutely ascertained. Also, one thing that we must remember that this is just an order which is a step forward to the order which came in May, and this order allows for an enforcement officer to go and check what can be attached from the property that he lives in. There is an appeal, and he has asked the court, which he had mentioned in his 5-page letter to the media as well, that he has asked for his property, he allowed to be selling all the stuff that he can. So there is a long and layers in this case that needs to be followed before any action is taken where the money can be recovered, Rajdeep.
Okay, Lavina Tandon joining us with that quick update on that story that we are breaking here at the top of the news. Okay, let's turn to my other big focus tonight. Now, days after Congress spokesperson Priyanka Chaturvedi's 10-year-old daughter received rape threats on Twitter, the police have finally nabbed the person who had sent out the threats. The man was arrested from Gujarat by a Mumbai police team. A Mumbai court has sent the suspect to police custody. It could be a first of its kind where someone sending out rape threats has been arrested in this manner. And it puts the focus squarely on social media abuse. Here's our report.
A shocking rape threat targeting senior Congress leader Priyanka Chaturvedi's 10-year-old daughter. Now, days after the wild tweet shook the political corridors and led the Home Ministry to call for a proper investigation. Mumbai and Delhi police in a joint operation have nabbed the man behind it. The accused Girish, who was arrested in Ahmedabad, has been charged under the stringent Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act.
इन्वेस्टिगेशन के बाद हमें पता चला कि अहमदाबाद के पास एक खेड़ा है, वहाँ पे ये शख्स रहता है, तो हमारी टीम वहाँ पे जा पहुँची. आज हमने सुबह उनको डिटेन किया. डिटेन करने के बाद हमने उनको अरेस्ट किया.
I would want to express my gratitude to the Mumbai police and the Delhi police for taking this up on a priority and ensuring that the one who was threatening my child and was responsible for spreading these kind of memes has been arrested. Also would want to thank the Home Ministry for intervening and giving this the due importance that it deserved.
The relieved Congress leader even want this case to serve as an example for online predators.
What is needed right now is to ensure that this particular case is used as a model to ensure that the punishment that the person duly deserves is given that.
The shocking tweet comes days after External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj was trolled for allegedly helping an interfaith couple to get passports in Lucknow. While a Mumbai court sent Girish to police custody till 10th of July, thousands of other abusive trolls continue to stalk the social media. Who will leash the hate factory? With Shivangi Thakur and Mayuresh Ganpatiya in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let me go straight across to my newsmaker, Priyanka Chaturvedi, the Congress spokesperson, joining me now. Priyanka Chaturvedi, you were threatened in the past, as many other politicians are, but why is it that you chose this occasion to file an FIR? Was it that you thought enough is enough? Your 10-year-old daughter is being threatened. Did that make you frightened, or were you adamant this time that this is where you will draw the line?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe that there is a line that needs to be maintained. We crossed that line ages ago, and the silence of the government continue to, abet and motivate these people to continue threatening and continue to use vile abuses and call for violence. But when you breach that point, that point where you need to distinguish between people who are your political opponents versus bringing their families into it, is when I realized that I had to take this head on, and you cannot drag my minor child into something like this and say the vilest of things about her on the basis of some fake quote that was attributed to me. And she is such an innocent child who doesn't even know something like this has happened, and she doesn't deserve this kind of perverse logic or perverse tweets coming her way. And that is when I realized that I needed to take a stance, and I needed to bring this person, this nameless, faceless handle to people's notice, as well as get to know his identity and ensure that he gets the punishment he duly deserves.
You know, there will be those, Priyanka Chaturvedi, who will probably turn around, and let me play devil's advocate. You will say, once you're in public life, online abuse is par for the course. This is the way you've got to accept it almost. This is part of being in public life, being online. You've got to accept abuse. How do you respond to those who spin this narrative?
So firstly, as far as believing that online abuse is par for the course is something that by believing in that idea or believing in this narrative, we have normalized this kind of conversation. We've normalized threats coming our way, women being trolled, women facing all kinds of threats and threatened to get raped, gang raped, etc. But we need to take this head on, because they do not know the line that they are crossing. First it was us, now it is our family members that are being targeted. So that is point number one. We need to ensure that there's zero tolerance to any kind of abuse coming our way. We can discuss, debate, engage on these platforms, but we will not tolerate any kind of abuse. The basic respect and basic dignity while having a conversation is much needed, and it's time to make that known and make that obvious and fight for it and fight for our spaces. Secondly, being a public figure and getting more coverage because of that and getting myself heard, I think is incorrect to say, because I chose to take it head on and share the entire process on social media. However, I would believe, while I may be in a position where I can get this kind of attention, but I believe that this attention that has come my way will also ensure there's a ripple effect in the entire platform, and people who have been trolled feel emboldened enough to not silence their voices just because there's some kind of trolling coming their way, and they would feel empowered enough to take this challenge head on and say they will not tolerate this kind of abuse and threats coming their way, and they're going to take the legal route, and they're going to ensure that law prevails.
But you know, Priyanka Chaturvedi, you're a congresswoman, and maybe your critics belong to the right-wing parties, but many believe that every political party today has online armies that are designed to abuse and target their opponents in the most vile manner. Would you agree that all political parties today need to sort of look inwards and ask themselves, why are they allowing their online armies to get away?
That is very incorrect to say. The political narrative can be, you can have an argument, you can have a discussion, you can dissent, you can debate, but saying, painting everyone with the same brush is unfortunate, simply because I must tell you the sequence of events. When I did a press conference where I called for the strictest punishment for the accused of the Mandsaur gang rape, I saw by the evening this entire press conference was twisted. A fake quote was attributed to me, had communalized the entire rape incident, and the fake quote that was doing the rounds was that I was supporting the accused because of his religion, and that went extremely viral. That on Facebook, through WhatsApp, and there were calls for violence directed at me. This went reached Twitter. So this kind of stooping, falling down to these levels, the discourse falling down to these levels, I have only one political party to blame, and the silence of that political party to blame. These are the people who use social media to, empower themselves to come to power, and they're the same ones who continue to be silent when they're trying to push a narrative that perhaps will politically benefit them. If we had the government of the day speaking up much earlier, we wouldn't have fallen to the discourse that we have fallen to.
But there will be those, Priyanka Chaturvedi, who say that women across the board are susceptible. Sushma Swaraj, we've seen, has been targeted by those who believe that she erred in giving permission to a multi-faith marriage, passports being given. Women journalists have been targeted, actor Swara Bhaskar, even Smriti Irani of the BJP. Do you believe that this is now a phenomenon where women particularly are susceptible?
Absolutely. We still have this ingrained patriarchal mindset that will take lots of time to get out of. However, while Smriti Irani hesitated to speak up for a Sushma Swaraj or a Priyanka Chaturvedi in 2016, I have no hesitation in standing up for any woman, whether it's a political rival or someone who's politically opposed to my ideology, or someone who is in Hindi film industry, or somebody who's a social activist, someone who's a journalist. I have seen the kind of trolling, and I will stand up for them as much as I stand up for myself, because our fight is much larger. We are not just fighting the patriarchal mindset, we are also fighting on the basis of the political ideology we espouse, and there is a dominating political narrative pushed on social media. We are fighting that. So this is a two-pronged fight for any woman who is opinionated, who has a mind of her own and speaks up for things that she believes in.
Okay, let me hold you to your thoughts, Priyanka. I might come back to you, but I want to raise certain big questions. Is online abuse fueled by political patronage? Is one of the questions. Are women soft targets for online abuse? Will the police act in each case of such online threats? Is it time to strengthen cyber laws against online threats? Just some of the questions I want to raise tonight. Let's widen this debate. I'm joined at the moment by Shaina NC, spokesperson of the BJP. Karnika Seth is a cyber law lawyer and expert. Swati Chaturvedi is an author of a book that focused on trolling in particular. I appreciate all of you joining us. Shaina NC, you heard what Priyanka Chaturvedi said. She said there is a silence there. And that silence has emboldened online trolls, many of them using fake identities, using anonymity, many of them possibly belonging to the BJP, some possibly to the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party. Why are you silent? When a Priyanka Chaturvedi's daughter gets a rape threat, why is she left alone to defend herself? Why don't I see the Shaina NCs or indeed political parties, women in particular, coming up, standing up for fellow women, standing up for fellow politicians?
Oh, please. Rajdeep, please look at my Twitter account. I was probably the only one and the first to tweet and say that social media is a forum where you can express your opinion, counter opinion, critique, wit, sarcasm, humor, all okay. But moment you go into trolling and abuse, be it a Sushma Swaraj or a Priyanka Chaturvedi, it is unacceptable. And Priyanka conveniently seems to forget that if it wasn't for her registering a complaint and the fantastic job that the Mumbai police have done, that in record time this guilty perpetrator has been booked. So let's not try and politicize this issue. This is an issue of women's safety, security, yes, but women's dignity more importantly. For anybody who feels they can get away scot-free by talking about raping a poor minor child who is not even privy to what's going on, I think the only kind of reply is what we saw. Now, people have questioned that why has there been action in in Priyanka's case and not Sushma Ji's case. Sushma Ji didn't register an FIR. She chose to block and ignore all these perverts, and that is her prerogative. Priyanka chose to register an FIR, and the police and the administration acted immediately. For all of us who have spoken up unanimously saying that women in public life, or forget women
but
in
many
public
of your
life,
leaders follow many of your leaders follow these abusers. Many of your leaders, Madam Shaina NC, many of your leaders follow those who abuse. No, that's true. When Gauri Lankesh was killed, there were people who said she deserved to die, and they were followed by your ministers.
Speaks up. No, I want to make 2 points. When a Nitin Gadkari speaks up, a Rajnath Singh, a Mr. Rathore, Kiran Rijiju, all of that, these are all leaders of the party too. The point is here, the issue is not even about an intercaste marriage or an interfaith couple that chose to raise objections. It was also about the
why are those who are abused followed by ministers?
The correct
You're
name
not answering my
and
question.
the address of by the UP police.
Ma'am, I am asking you, why is it that those who are abused, why is it that the abusers are followed by ministers?
It is for Sushma Swaraj to reply. Now, the people who follow...
Ministers are following abusers.
Who believe in an ideology or who have a counter ideology is not... Social media is a forum to express yourself, yes. But any kind of derogatory, demeaning, objectionable threats to women is not accepted by our party, and that's why you saw such quick action.
You know, you are saying this, but Swati Chaturvedi, do you accept what Shaina NC is saying? Shaina NC is saying that in this case, the BJP acted swiftly, the Home Minister issued orders, the Mumbai police has arrested the individual in Priyanka Chaturvedi's case. To that extent, do you believe that this marks a turning point, or do you believe there is still a conspiracy of silence when it comes to these online trolls, many of whom supposedly are linked to political parties in some form or the other?
Well, Rajdeep, I completely agree with whatever Shaina has said right now. But having said that, if it hadn't been for Rajnath Singh's personal intervention and the fact that the police really acted with alacrity, all of us for the past 4.5 years have been facing horrific rape threats, death threats on a daily basis. My heart goes out to you as well. You've had your kids being abused on social media, and we filed FIRs, we filed cases, nothing's happened. And as far as Sushma Swaraj is concerned, 43 handles which trolled her are followed, some by BJP ministers and some by the Prime Minister himself. So we are talking about a very well orchestrated operation, and somebody from the ruling party needs to step forward and say enough is enough, please stop this, let's have a Swachh social media thing. Maybe the Prime Minister can address it in his Man Ki Baat, do a rumors ki baat, because enough is enough. I mean, we have pedophiles now targeting 10-year-old children. I mean, is this how much discourse has been debased? It's truly hurtful and shocking.
You know, you're saying it's truly hurtful and shocking. I just want to understand, is it the guise of anonymity? In your view, multiple identities anonymity, is that what is giving these individuals the belief that they can get away? Or is it the silence and, dare I say, the failure of the law enforcement authorities to act tough?
The matter is, the law is there in the country, but the enforcement of the law is a challenge today.
Just a minute, ma'am. Yeah.
When I say the law is there in the country, we have POCSO Act to take care of offences against children in particular. We have the Information Technology Act in the country to look after an IPC, read with the IPC, to look after cases of cyber stalking or strolling or any kind of sexual harassment to a woman, outraging the modesty of a woman. But when it comes to enforcement, the challenge becomes here is, how do you trace the person, the perpetrator of the crime? Now, if these service providers are quicker to find out and let the law enforcement have the details along with the electronic evidence, then one can in fact investigate it quickly, and then the prosecution can also occur.
So you're saying the problem is that it is not acted on swiftly enough.
Absolutely.
As a result of which it is difficult to trace the original ID from which the threat came.
I train law enforcement and I am a trainer to the CBI or another authorities here in the country. Now when it comes to in giving them the manpower skills, well, they do have the skills. There are new police stations being formed in the country with cyber cells and manpower and infrastructure is being put in. But the pace at which the crime rate is increasing and the proliferation of crime through the internet, the way the trolling happens, it goes viral. That is a challenge. Now, if we had localized data here, we don't need to have the MLAT system, which takes 6 months to a year to get any kind of evidence from abroad. Unfortunately, in India, we don't have a cybercrime convention we are a signatory to. It takes a huge lot of time to get the electronic evidence if we manage to get it and it's not overwritten. I feel
that's exactly what happened.
These are the problems we are facing.
There are practical problems. This case has now got all this publicity. I can tell you, there have been journalists in particular, and when journalists have been targeted, Shaina NC, as Swati Chaturvedi pointed out, none of you all came out in our support. The Rana Ayubs were targeted. Ravish Kumar has been targeted. Many journalists have faced death threats. I didn't see any of you all coming out then.
Nothing happens.
And it's very...
There's impunity.
There is impunity. According to Swati Swati Chaturvedi, there is impunity, and that's the general sense that journalists get. There is impunity, ma'am. No, how? It's not convenient. That's the reality. That's the reality. Shaina NC, that is the reality.
No. It's very
reality. All of us file
cite
complaints.
examples
Nothing
that
happens.
you choose to. It's very convenient to cite. 1 minute. 1 second. Swati ji, just tell me one thing. Priyanka Chaturvedi belongs to a different party. She filed an FIR only just now. And if there was not this swift action, has anyone even acknowledged the fact that the Home Ministry has acted despite the fact that she belongs to another party? And the idea is not for brownie points. The idea is that we need to have an anti-trolling law. We need to have cybercrime as an offence which is as serious as other areas. And yes, the need today may be a lot more than what it was in the past.
Shaina, we have,
Yeah, go ahead, Swati.
Shaina, Priyanka Chaturvedi is an exception. Priyanka Chaturvedi is an exception. I'm very happy that Rajnath Singh has restored the image of this government by acting, but she's a real exception. I have filed multiple FIRs, Rana Ayub has, Barkha Dutt has, Sagarika Ghosh has. No action is taken. We face this on a daily basis. In one of my FIRs, the IP address was given by Twitter. The Delhi police, 3 years have passed, have not acted. It's impunity and immunity because they feel that they have a very benevolent, hand of the state on them. That's why it's going on. If we have 5 more arrests, all stop. We have all the laws in the world. There's just no action. Arrest 5 more people and I promise you all this nonsense will end.
That's precisely it, Shaina NC. While you can turn around and say, look, we've acted in Priyanka Chaturvedi's case, there are far too many cases where people have got away. It's coming down to that. They believe, and because many of them, as I keep reiterating, are followed by politicians. They are followed by politicians. That's why they believe they can get away. That's my problem.
My appeal...
Blessed to be followed.
My appeal to you through your forum is irrespective of which ideology you belong to, what thought process you belong to, and what the actual issue is. In Sushma Ji's case, the issue was that of her ministry. She chose to reply. For those who pushed it beyond a point, she chose to block. I think that for anybody, whether it's a journalist, a politician, or even a common citizen, if there is a threat which is this kind of abuse and serious in nature, then I think registering a complaint is just the first step. Moment you do it, the action and the proactiveness with which the Home Ministry has taken
It's not happened in the past.
I think that in the days to come is going to be the fear of law that makes sure that these perpetrators are you are only citing few cases.
See, the fatal
cases which have been registered with cybercrime where they
we may have deterrent laws
where people have been brought to task. Let's not try and make this into these trolls belong to your ideology and these trolls belong to your ideology. Trolls don't belong to anyone. They belong to themselves.
It's not a question of that. Menaka Gandhi,
mindset.
Menaka Gandhi
of belonging to a particular ideology.
Menaka Gandhi started a helpline. She got trolled.
Menaka Gandhi started a helpline and you're saying...
Menaka Gandhi started a helpline. She got trolled, Rajdeep.
Okay, given what is happening there, where is the problem? Is it law enforcement? Is it, as you said, the fact that we do not have...
Just a minute. Is 1 minute, Rajdeep, just very quickly.
Yes.
Being trolled and being abused and threatened is completely different.
Ma'am, the lines are very fine.
Threatened is a crime.
The lines are very fine.
There needs to be fear of law.
There is no fear.
That if you're trolled on social media,
there is no fear.
We know of a lot of people who have used all kinds of adjectives to describe each other.
Okay, very quickly, ma'am. Yes.
We need better,
where is the problem?
We need better reporting, sensitization among people. Like Priyanka, she has taken a step in the right direction. I think all women and children, and in fact, anybody who gets victimized needs to report this on an urgent basis.
But there are people who have reported the list of people, whether Rana Ayub, Barkha Dutt, Sagarika Ghosh, all have reported it and nothing has happened.
I agree with you, Rajdeep, when you say law enforcement needs to be strengthened. I firmly believe in that. We need better laws, no doubt, but whatever we have, even that we are not able to enforce. We need better cooperation from service providers to give us the data that is required to go in for a prosecution and lead to conviction. You'll be shocked. 2% is the rate of, POCSO cases being convicted. Those people who have actually raped, online.
Is there a finite law under which today, what is the law under which I can arrest someone for threatening let's say my daughter. In this case, POSCO has been used. Suppose she was an adult, 21-year-old.
IPC,
what is the law?
We have criminal intimidation as a provision, 506 of the IPC. We have the law in the country. When it comes to defamation, we have section 500. And if it's a woman who's being outraged modesty, 509 is there, 354 A, B,
So there
C,
are
D.
enough laws in it.
There are enough laws in the country. However, we fail to enforce them in the manner they're supposed to be doing. It has to be...
Does the cyber crime cells of this country have the...
We need special courts.
Do they have the mechanism to identify the handles? Do they have the mechanism with them as of today?
They fall back on the service providers to give them the data. Once they have the data, they need to go in for forensics. You know, when the forensics happens, if the hard disk has been seized or if an account has been found out, there has to be a intelligence given on that. And then immediately charge sheet gets filed. Once the charge sheet is in place, the special courts need to be there. Unfortunately, we have a backlog of cases. The general criminal justice system in the country is looking after all IT cases. And the proliferation of crime, the way it is leading in cybercrime cases, needs special courts to be established.
So you need special...
I feel so strongly this is the need of the hour.
This is the need of the hour. And remember, this is of course coming at a time when WhatsApp rumors also are being used to spread all kinds of evil in our society. I appreciate my panelists joining me because we will carry forward this in a moment from now. My take: the rape threat to a minor daughter of Congress spokesperson Priyanka Chaturvedi only revealed just how coarse and dangerous online abuse has become. That the police has acted swiftly in this case on firm instruction from the Home Ministry and arrested the culprit is a positive sign. But not everyone is a public figure who has access to government, and in many previous instances, the authorities have failed to act speedily. Nor have those in power spoken out loudly and often enough against such abusers. In fact, the Prime Minister and Union Ministers stand charged of following some of those who abuse their political opponents online. This has given the online abusers, or trolls in the absence of a better word, a virtual license to target their critics, often under the guise of anonymity. Women in particular have been soft targets, at times a deadly mix of misogyny and bigotry, leaving them vulnerable. When even a Sushma Swaraj is not spared, God help the Aam Aurat. Which is why the arrest in this case must become a turning point. Before we debate over whether we need a new specific law against the abuse army, we need a new mindset. There is no pride or nationalism in being a serial abuser. Today it is Priyanka's daughter. What if tomorrow it was yours or mine? In this republic of abuse, silence is no longer an option. If our leaders won't act, then civil society must. And while we're looking at online abuse, remember the rumors of child abduction over WhatsApp that have spread terror across this country. After 5 people were lynched in Maharashtra's Dhule, the police seems to have finally acted and arrested the main accused. But how did a fake news story fuel an entire incident? Let's take a look at just why this is becoming almost a daily menace.
Days after 5 men were lynched over rumors of child abduction in Maharashtra's Rainpara village, the main accused has been arrested. And with Maharu Pawar, we get to put a face to the hate he had allegedly led the mob. Even as the police crackdown continues in Maharashtra, a similar incident is being reported from Rajkot in Gujarat, where a youth has been brutally beaten up over child abduction rumors. These are just 2 of the many instances of mob violence that have been reported from across the country. At the heart of such violence is fake news and distorted videos that spread like wildfire through WhatsApp. And this is exactly the case with this most widely circulated video claiming child abduction, which is actually a Pakistani advert shot by an NGO in Karachi. This video was sliced, edited and shared widely across India. A Pakistani video that was made for promoting child safety was lifted off the web and misused to fuel rumors of child kidnappings in India. WhatsApp, after directions from the Indian government, is now working on measures to identify and check fake news from going viral. Messages could come with a spam alert denoting it is a forwarded message. Administrators of WhatsApp groups could be allowed to restrict members from sending messages, and members could get an option to report messages that appear to be fake. Child abduction rumors over WhatsApp have so far killed nearly 30 people across India. The murders have sparked fears that unless the government and WhatsApp devise sure-shot ways to curb fake news, the situation could further get out of control. Bureau Report, India Today.
But what are the police going to do? Will they act against WhatsApp? Will they really be able to police WhatsApp? Brijesh Singh, Director General Information and Publicity in the Maharashtra government, is joining me. Appreciate your joining us, sir. Give me what the Maharashtra government is now going to do. You've arrested the main culprit in the Dhule incident. Tell me what will you do to ensure that WhatsApp rumors don't fuel this in the future? What is the guarantee that something like this won't happen in the future?
See, apart from what regulatory measures can be taken, Maharashtra government has embarked upon a huge awareness campaign. So we have put up 1,000 billboards across the state. In every police unit, the SPs and the commissioners of police have gone out and talked to people. In fact, in the last 2 days, there are 250 articles in the newspapers warning people about not forwarding messages which they are not sure about, and also warning them of consequences, that what kind of legal penalties they attract if they forward a message and it leads to commission of a crime. Similarly, the Chief Minister has come out and spoken. He also happens to be our Home Minister. He has come out and spoken about these rumor campaigns, and he has called upon the police force to act swiftly upon it. WhatsApp numbers have been given.
How are you going to police WhatsApp, sir, given the number of people who today have smartphones across a state like Maharashtra, indeed across India? How are you going to police it? How are you going to know where it's originating from?
These platforms are built in a way where you cannot find out where it originated from, who has spread it. You can never find this out because they are built in a way. See, they are also stripping the metadata off. So earlier you could, before 2016, metadata would be carried on, let's say, a video or a photo. But today, metadata is being stripped off by this company. Once you strip the metadata off, you basically are blocking any kind of investigation into it. Secondly, they're using end-to-end encryption, which means that you don't know, even if you, let us say, lawfully intercept this message, you would never be able to decrypt it. Third is that they are not storing it. If you read the policy of this company, they say that as soon as the message is delivered, they delete it from their servers. Now, this makes it absolutely impossible to investigate.
Right.
What maximum you can get is through a law enforcement process, some kind of metadata as to what time the message originated, if at all you have access to a particular message.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's very, very difficult.
Okay. I think you're admitting in a sense the difficulties that the police faces at the moment. Clearly a tough task. Appreciate your joining us there on a day when Maharashtra claims to have arrested the main culprit in the Dhule lynching case. Now, as you can see flashes coming on the screen, the government has issued an advisory to all states to crack down on the rumor mongers. Now, one of those states is Tripura, where a series of lynchings have taken place in recent times. The BJP government there has now formed a special group of women who are traveling from village to village to spread awareness of this. Manogya Loiwal traveled with them to bring today's ground report from Tripura.
These women are Tripura's first and probably the last defense against rumor mongering on WhatsApp. The teams were formed by the BJP government after 2 lives were lost in mob lynching last week. Madhabi Shil Biswas, the 48-year-old Panchayat Pradhan of Vijaynagar, leads one such team.
আমরা গ্রামে গঞ্জে প্রচার করতেছি যে এটা মিথ্যা কথা গুজব এটাতে ভয় পায় না বাচ্চারা স্কুলে পাঠান এতে কোনো ভয় নাই
Now these ladies are hailing from Panchayat and also from various other areas. This is municipality as well as the Mohanpur assembly constituency, and this is the same assembly constituency where one person was killed by mob lynching on the charges of being a child lifter, and that he had allegations against him that he was stealing the kidneys of the children here, or rather kidnapping them also. But these are instances, and that's the reason why such awareness campaigns are being conducted. These women are explaining all those who are here in the families inside the houses during daytime, and also trying to convince them to send their children to school, because that has been the biggest threat.
Their task, however, isn't easy. The women themselves fear for their safety after a man appointed by the government to kill rumors was himself lynched this week.
আমরা তো ICDS এ কাজ করি, ICDS এ কাজ করতে গেলে আমাদের ভীষণ অসুবিধা হইতাছে মিথ্যা অপপ্রচারের জন্য, মানে বাচ্চারা স্কুলে পাঠাইতেছে না। আমাদেরও তো প্রাণের ভয় আছে, আমরা প্রাণের ভয় কইরা সেরও কাজ করতে করতেছি।
But it's a job that needs to be done. Many villagers have stopped sending their children to schools altogether.
বাচ্চা কাচ্চা পাঠাইতে গ্রামের লোকের মা বাবার আর খুব মানে ভয় ভীতি থাকে। স্কুলে যাইতে গেলে মানে 10টা পর্যন্ত বাচ্চার লগে মা বসে থাকতে হয়।
The awareness campaign that started just this week is showing some impact.
ডিএসের কর্মীরা লইয়া একটা প্রচারে বাড়িছি যে এটা একটা সম্পূর্ণ মিথ্যা কথা, ভিত্তিহীন কথা, এটা একটা গুজব।
ওই ঘটনাটা শোনার পর থেকে আমি নিজেই যাই, রান্না বান্না সেরে মেয়েকে নিয়ে যাই। এখন দিদি তারা বোঝানোর পর থেকে আমার মনে একটু সাহস হয়েছে, আমি কাল থেকে ওকে একাই পাঠাবো স্কুলে।
From women to men, almost everyone are now visiting homes to ensure that such kind of rumors are not spread anymore and children return back to school at the earliest. Even though there are not many internet facilities in the districts or the remote areas, the biggest challenge is to control the rumor mongering. With camera person Tapas Berry and Prabir Das, this is Manogya Loiwal in Mohanpur, Tripura for India Today.
Let's turn to another of our top stories tonight. Our continuing focus on the capital's House of Horror case that has shocked the nation. New CCTV footage shows how the Bhatia family that committed mass suicide earlier this week prepared for the mass suicide. The images lending credence to the theory that it is a case of mass suicide, not homicide, but it was well planned. Take a look.
Lives snuffed out almost at the same time. A complete family caught up in a twisted ritual and ended up dead. More proof that it was a mass suicide than a case of homicide. 30th June, 10 p.m. On that fateful night, the elder daughter-in-law Savita and her daughter Neetu are seen bringing stools later used to deadly effects. Police are claiming that these images are clinching evidence that there was a plan in place for the deadly ritual and no outsider was involved in it. Lalit Bhatia, whose love for penning down his diabolical agenda has given investigators a window into how the grisly plan unfolded. His latest death manual is the final volume in this deadly family saga. The last entry in the 11th diary is devoid of any emotion and to the point. Written on a day before the final act, it lays out step-by-step plan that culminated in a deadly wipeout of the Bhatia family. The instructions are given under a title, Road to God. Lalit claimed that his dead father wanted 9 people on the iron mesh. Widowed sister must be standing on a stool near a mandir. Order food at 10 p.m. Mother will feed roti. Kriya, final act to be performed at 1 a.m. Kriya to be performed during intervening night of Saturday or Sunday. Wet clothes must be stuffed in mouth and hands tied. Use cotton buds to close ears. The chilling last line, keep water in a cup. I will appear and save when color changes. Members of the Bhatia family showed unusual calmness hours before they took part in the ritual. Lalit's elder brother Bhavesh is seen opening his shop in the morning. The images defy what is about to follow at night. Later, we can also see Priyanka and her mother going for a morning walk. There is no hint of nervousness as the mother-daughter duo are seen walking briskly. In the afternoon, the brains behind the operation, Lalit is seen at a mobile shop. Finally, images that show how the plan was put in effect. Savita and her daughter, Neetu, calm and composed, carrying stools to be used for hanging. Death was imminent. Tragedy was knocking on their doors. Lalit's diary claimed that his father will save them. But their extreme step left no chances for the Bhatia family to survive the deadly ritual. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, while that story may have grabbed the attention of the country, there's a story that's grabbing the attention of the world. 13 days since a 13-member soccer team got trapped in a cave in northern Thailand. Authorities are still working tirelessly to boost the morale of the young boys and their coach who are trapped in the cave. While food and medical aid have reached the cave, the Thai Navy and government will announce a final rescue plan in the next 24 hours.
It is a race against weather and time. 12 young boys trapped in a cave in northern Thailand for 13 days and counting. Along with them, their 25-year-old coach. They were found 9 days after a massive search operation was launched, but how long before they are rescued? As rains close in, time is running out fast for the 13-member soccer team who went missing on 23rd June. It's a massive rescue operation. Experts from at least 6 countries, led by Thai Navy SEALs, are working tirelessly to get the boys out. Teams of divers, medics and counselors have been assisting in this mammoth task. But if locating the soccer team proved to be a tough ask, rescuing them is turning out to be even tougher. To keep the morale of those trapped high, telephone lines have now been set up inside the cave so that boys can talk to their families. Game activities and group discussions are also being designed. High-powered lights are being used to keep track of day and night. The boys are also being administered a heavy protein liquid diet and heavy dose of antibiotics. Above ground, frantic operations are on to ensure that the soccer team is brought out of the cave safely. But what are the plausible options? The boys and their coach first must be taught how to swim. After that, they must be trained in using scuba diving equipment. It's the fastest option, but also the most dangerous, as the boys have to navigate through narrow passages all on their own. Option 2. The group can be airlifted out by drilling a narrow shaft. But in the hilly area, it is a challenge to move equipment and also to find the exact coordinates of the spot. The third and the last option. The trapped group can be supplied with food and medical help till the water level recedes in the cave. But this could actually take months. As a stopgap measure, rescuers have blocked the entrance to the cave to prevent any fresh flooding. Unfortunately, the weatherman has predicted more rains from 7th till 12th July. Divers are navigating the dark flooded tunnels, a round trip which takes as long as 11 hours, all in the hope that the 12 young boys and their coach are finally brought to safety. 13 days on, Thailand is praying that there is light at the end of this dark tunnel and that the ordeal is over soon. Bureau Report, India Today.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.